Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of ATM 10 to the Sky. And in today's episode, we are going to be getting into building the Foundry. We are also going to get everything that we need so that we could create the Geores. And hopefully, we'll have everything set up enough to where we could create our Geore Farm in the next episode. I'm also going to be looking into upgrading the Void Shimmer goo to the Shadow Pulse goo, and if we have any time for anything else in today's episode, we will do that as well. So let's go ahead and get on into today's episode. Alright, so what we are going to be needing is the fire clay. This is super simple, it's clay and sand. This goes into the furnace to get smelted into fire brick, and then this gets created into the black fire bricks. So let's go ahead and take a look at the quest line here. So there's a couple of things that we are going to need, which is of course the fire brick. Well, so let me go ahead and make the fire brick real quick. I think I will set up the foundry here on this platform. This might be a good spot. So let's go ahead and see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one set, get the quest line going, and then let's look further into what we're needing. So it looks like we need the heating cells, the tank. Which one do I need? Which one do I need? I think it's the black tank, so I'm going to go ahead and do that one. And then we need the controller, which it looks like it's the Black Foundry controller. And then it looks like we could change this at any time color-wise. So, you know, later down the line, if we choose to change colors, we could definitely do that. But for right now, I'm just going to stick with the normal black. I kind of like the way it looks. So let's see, what else are we going to need? We also need the drain and tap. So let me bookmark these. Right, we got those bookmarked. Now let's look into getting everything needed to build the foundry. So let's start with the liquid heating coils. We're going to need 9 of these. And it looks like I have enough buckets for this. Alright, let me go ahead and try and find center point. And, oh, wrong block. Break that and do that again. So center point right here, and then I'm going to go ahead and build off of this. Alright, so we have a 3x3. That's going to be what is the bottom internal, and this is what's going to melt all our items. Now, I believe we could add blocks down at the bottom, so let's go ahead and look to see what kind of item I want to do. Let's see, so let's stone, and these ones look good, so I'll use these. Place these down. Alright, I got those down. Give it a little flare, I guess. And then we'll go ahead and add on these walls. Or the bricks, I should say. And then I like to keep open spaces, so like for the drain over here, the tank back here, and the controller in the front. So let's go ahead and make the rest of the items. So we have the tank, the controller, which requires a blast furnace, easy craft. Okay, there's the controller. And now the drain and tap, of course. So we'll pull the items out. And then let's go ahead and make some of these fire bricks. And let's start putting this together. So first thing on the list, I'm going to go ahead and put the controller down here in the front. And then the drain over here. And then I'll put the tank right here in the middle back. No. Let's do the tank up by the controller. I think that'll be a little bit better. I'll put it right here. Okay, now let's fill in the rest with the fire bricks. And let's see if I could use the netherite stick. I think I have what it takes to craft this. Where is it at? There it is. Okay, so netherite stick. And then go ahead and do this. Oh, it looks like I need to put this in my offhand for the items that are not similar. That's perfectly fine. And then let's go ahead and build this up. I want to try and, make it the same height as these 3 pillars. So let's see if we could do that here. And it looks like I'm missing some bricks. So let me craft some more and finish off this foundry. Yeah, 16 should be enough. And there we go. And we have the foundry now built. Looking good. So what we are going to need to do is, well, first let me put the tap on the drain here real quick. And then we need to make the basin, which requires more fire brick, which I ran out. So let me go ahead and make some more real quick. Let me go ahead and fly on down here and slap this in my furnace. There it is. Okay, that was quick. Alright, let's go on back up here and craft the basin real quick. And I'll slap it down right under the tap. Perfect. Okay. So looking back on the quest, it looks like that it wants us to make the budding iron Geore first, which is perfectly fine. We could definitely get that going. What I do like here, it says in the quest line, the only difference is that Geores can be picked up by pickaxes even without silk touch. That is an awesome feature to have. And it also looks like that we could accelerate the growth of the Geores as well, so that's another good tip. So all the crystals that are mined off the budding Geore can be smelted to get your ingot. Awesome. Alright, so let's look into seeing what it takes to create the budding iron Geore. Okay, so what we need is 900 millibuckets of molten iron and a 1-time sand to make the budding iron Geore. So I believe this will be it's 80 millibuckets per ingot and 10 millibuckets per nugget. But let me confirm that and see if I could find this somewhere here. Okay, so 8 nuggets is 80 millibuckets, which means 1 nugget is 10 millibuckets. So I was correct with that. And a block is 810 millibuckets, which tells me that it's 90 millibuckets per ingot. So let's go ahead and get everything that we need. So we'll go 9 iron and then 9 nuggets. I think I already had some in the system. There we go. Okay. Now let's go ahead and grab some lava. We're going to need to get some buckets. Bucket. Okay, we got 4 of them. That should give us a full tank to begin with. So let me fly on down here to my lava gen and see if we can pull some lava. Alright, so this is empty. Interesting. Okay, let me break the magmatic generators. They're not needed anymore. And then let the system build back up with lava. And we'll get our 4 buckets. 1, 2. That's the 3rd. And the final bucket. Perfect. Alright, let's go slap this into our foundry. And then we could begin the process. Okay, and there's all 4 buckets in there now. And that gives us a full tank. Perfect. So I believe if this is anything like Tinker's, you could put a tank right above the next one to increase the capacity, but I don't know. That's something I'll have to test out and see if that's something you could actually do. So let's go ahead and throw in a nugget. So it is 1 nugget to 10 millibuckets, and then 1 ingot this should give us 90 millibuckets in total between the 1 nugget and the ingot that I'm melting down. Nope, 100 millibuckets. So with that said, 9 ingots and 9 nuggets, or 10 ingots, should give you 900 or 900 millibuckets. Can't do math. So I made the one-time block and slapped it in there. So once that is done, you just right click on the tap and it will start pouring into the basin where the sand is. And you can see here that it is generating the budding iron Geore. We just got to let it cool off and then we should be able to take it out of the basin. And with that sound, it is done. Perfect. So now we have the budding iron Geore, and that completes the small quest line for this. Alright, so the next step is going to be coal, and it looks like it just requires 1 coal block. So let me go ahead and see if we have enough coal for that, and it looks like we don't. So let me come over here to my reactors and just steal one. Perfect. Alright. Let me go ahead and slap this in here real quick, and this is going to take a little bit of time. Some of the items that you throw into the foundry will take longer than most, so you just have to kind of be patient with it, but it will eventually get melted down. And then I'm going to craft a stack of these sand blocks at one time. So as you can see here, it is moving extremely slow. So I think what I'm doing while I'm waiting for that is I'm going to come down here and steal I think one of the fluid drawers down here that's producing lava. This one's our biggest one, so I'm going to take this one and we're going to come back up here and set it up so that we don't have to worry about keep getting buckets or anything. We'll just have it pipe straight into the tank. I'm going to place it down right here. Nope, not like that. Grab that real quick and place it like so. And then let me grab a pipe real quick. I think I have some. I do. Perfect. And I'll just slap this right on top and get my configurator and set this to full. And now it is filling up our tank. And eventually it will start creating a backlog of lava once the pipe is filled up. As you can see, it's still filling up. Let's take a look and see if the coal block is done yet. And it looks like it is, so let's go over here, put some sand in, and right click. Awesome. We now have budding coal Geore. Let that cool off real quick, and we could see here that it is now building a backlog. So let's see what else we need to get. So emerald is 1 block. That's easy. Hopefully I have it. Looks like I do have enough emeralds. And let me slap the emerald into the foundry. Let that go. And as you can see, it does take quite a bit of time. Let me grab the coal out of here. And then let me grab the iron back out of the system. There we go. And that one's going, so let's get the lapis, so that's 1 block. That should be pretty easy. I already have one made, perfect. And then the ancient debris, that one is just 9 scraps. Super easy. Okay, so there's the 9 scraps, and then nickel, that's going to be the same thing as the iron. It's going to be just 9 ingots and 9 nuggets, or 10 ingots in total. Or you could even do a block and 1 ingot. That would work as well. Alright, so now for the gold, it's going to be the same thing. Gold. Looks like I have enough for that. There's the nuggets and then the ingot. Okay, so the next one is going to be quartz. So molten quartz, so it's 2 blocks and 1 gem. Let me see what kind of quartz I am needing, if it's regular quartz or certain other kind of quartz. So Certus quartz. I just want to make sure I get the right one. Let's see, where is it at? Oh, there it is. So it is just nether quartz. So we need 2 blocks. Hopefully I have that. Doesn't look like I have any in the system. Let me check my storage real quick. None in there. Let me go over to my storage wall. Doesn't look like I have any here on the wall. Let me look through the barrels real quick. So far, not seeing anything. That's snow block. Nothing there. Oh, nothing there. I'm wondering, I might have some down below. Let me take a look at this setup over here. And I have 48. Okay. Hopefully that should give us enough. Let's take a look. Nope, not like that. I think it's just... Yep, there we go. So we need 2 of these. And then just 1. Perfect. We got that. Now let's see. The next one's going to be osmium. That's going to be the same as all the other ones for the ingots. Okay, perfect. Looks like the next one is going to be diamond. And that just requires 1 block. And I have enough diamonds for that. Okay. And then we already got the iron. So redstone is just 1 block of redstone. I should have enough redstone for this. Yep, I do. Perfect. Okay, and then Urnanite. Urnanite is a special case. We need the Ender Crafter to make this. So we'll need to make the alternator and surround the Ender Crafter with it to make this craft. We'll also need the budding uranium Geore and surround it with Urnanite. And it takes a little bit of time. It shows here 60 seconds. So we'll do that at the end. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So uranium is the same thing as the rest of them. Let me see if I have any. Doesn't look like I have any uranium in my system, but let me check my system over here. And I have a little bit. So let me grab that and put it through my squeezer setup. And then once this is done, I will go ahead and bring you guys back. Alright, and we are back. Got the raw uranium. I'm going to throw it into my furnace here real quick, and that is done. Let's go ahead and come back up here real quick. So I'm going to need 9 of these and then 9 nuggets. Actually, I'm going to have to make 2 of these. So actually I need 18 ingots and 18 nuggets. Let me grab some more real quick. Okay, there we go. Now I can mark that one off the list. Now the next one's going to be lead. Same process. Let's see if we have any. Doesn't look like I have any in the system, but I'll come down here and take a look. Okay, let's see. Oh, so we got some platinum. And then, let's see, where's the lead? Oh, there it is. We'll grab that. And I'll throw these through my squeezer setup, and I will bring you guys back one more time. Okay, and I'm back, and I got the lead ingots and platinum ingots. And then, You know what? Let me get a hopper and just hopper these in so we don't have to keep placing them down. I think that'll make it a little bit easier. So I was able to get the platinum and the lead all situated. So now let's go ahead and clear these out, clear all this out. We don't need these. I'll keep the endercrafter and alternator, and we'll do this at the end once we get the rest of the budding Geores done. So let's go ahead and start this process. And let's start with the blocks here first. So lapis, and then diamond and redstone. We'll let that go here. So actually what I'm going to do is I'll bring you guys back as soon as I'm done with getting all of these Geores completed. And then we could start working on doing the endercrafter and get the urnanite Geore. So let me go ahead and bring you guys back. Give me one moment. Alright, and I'm on the last Geore here. I have just the netherite scraps to do. And then this should be the last one right before we have to do the urnanite. So let's go ahead and get this one going. And perfect. We'll let this cool off here real quick, and then we'll look into building the endercrafter. Alright, so we do have all the Geores. Now let's look into creating the endercrafter and alternators. So let's see what we need to make them. So it looks like we need ender ingots, eye of ender, and crafting table. That should be super simple. I'm not using that recipe. Nope. Let's see if I have any wood. I'm going to make just some oak logs here. That should be enough. And then let me get some planks and make a crafting table. Alright. So we have that. So iron and ender pearl to make the ender ingot. Super simple. We need 5 of these. And then eye of ender, we got plenty of those, so we need 3. Now let's go ahead and make this craft. And there's the ender crafter. Let me see. Oh, I just put my backpack away. Let me grab that back out of the system and store away that. There we go. Okay. So now let's look into the alternator. So it needs more of the ender ingots and eye of ender. And I think we need about 12 of these, I think is where I want to start. So let me go ahead and make more of these. Super simple craft. Alright, so we got 14. Accidentally made a little too much, but that's alright. Alright, where to put this? I think we should do it right here. So let's find the center spot. And this looks good, so let's go ahead and put it down. And then we just surround it with the alternators. And I think more is better. It helps speed it up, I believe. So what I'm going to do is I need to craft 5 more because I want to do another layer. Let me go ahead and make these real quick. Alright, so make another layer here. Oop, not there. Go ahead and pick that up and put it right here. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab what we need. So the uranium Geore goes right in the middle. And then let me grab some urnanite. We just need 4 of these. And surround it. There we go. And then you could see it working with the purple particles here going into the alternators. And then also you can see that it is processing. So we'll go ahead and wait until this is done. Let's see. Wow, you can make the flawless budding Certus quartz out of this. I may have to look into that recipe. And ooh, vibranium ingot. So you need all the shards. And then the crystalline ingot to make the vibranium ingot. And I think we'll look into doing that. It looks like you need the ultimate crafting table, and that is a craft and a half. Okay. What does it take to make the ultimate crafting table? Because ultimately you're going to need that for all the mod star. If we look here in the quest, no, I think I'm going to search it up real quick. So ATM star, there it is. And then the ultimate crafting. So this is the craft to create the ATM star. And it does require the ultimate crafting table. So let me bookmark them. I should have bookmarked it before, so let me go ahead and do that now. So just the regular crafting table, and it needs the ultimate components, the elite crafting table, block of emerald, some black iron slates, which is just black iron ingots, which is just iron and black dye. That seems like a super simple craft. Make some of those real quick. And then the ultimate component is luminescence, emeralds, and the black iron slate. Let's see. So this craft looks pretty simple. I'll make a little bit here. And then we've got to make the slates. Okay. And then that will allow us to make 4 of these. Perfect. And then we need the ultimate catalyst, which is just a little bit of the same. I think I have enough to make that. Perfect. Oh, it used the other ones, so let me go ahead and make those again. Okay, there we go. And then, ooh, okay. So elite crafting table. Let me make the block of emerald, and then we'll look deeper into the crafting table here. So just the regular crafting table. Click on that. And it requires the advanced. So it looks like this is just a tier craft. So we'll have to go all the way down to the basic tier. And I think I'll do that in another episode. Definitely not this one. That's going to be causing this episode to go a little bit too long. Oh, and this is not connected. Let me get this going real quick. Perfect. Alright, it's looking good. Okay. Let's look and see where we could put our Geore Farm, and I think right over here looks pretty good, so I'll have to build it out a little bit to create the platform. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and upgrade our Void Shimmer goo to the Shadow Pulse goo. Right, there we go. And ooh, I can make a second one. Perfect. Alright, now where are we gonna put this? I think we could do it right here. Let me grab some stone. And let's see. Nope, that will be kind of too close to each other, so I think one more over. And that should work. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so let me put these down, break the stone, and then let me make some netherite blocks. Okay, let me put 2 of these back, and then this will allow us to do all 6 sides for both of them. Okay, perfect. And then let me get the sculk. And then let me go ahead and feed this to the block and cap them off with the netherite blocks. Now, if I turn off my shaders, which that is not the hotkey anymore, so let me do this manually. Shader pack and disable. You could see that it is overtaking the netherite blocks. So once this is fully consumed, it will convert it over to the Eclipse alloy. Let's go ahead and wait for that to happen. There we go. And now they are fully converted over. So let me go ahead and mine these real quick. Okay, so that got us 43 Eclipse alloy, or raw alloy. Let me go ahead and so let me look at the Just Direthings quest. And oh, we just got a third Shadow Pulse goo, which is perfect. Let me go ahead and toss these into the furnace real quick. And now we have actual Eclipse alloy ingots. So that will allow us to get into more Just Direthings. And let me see, is there another way that we could generate these a lot quicker? Is there a Geore? Doesn't look like there is. Let me take a look here in JEI real quick. So it doesn't look like there is any Geores, but there are bees. So if we take a look at the bees, all we need to do is, looks like feed a Shadow Pulse goo to an ancient bee, and that will give us the Eclipse alloy bee. Yeah, so I think we'll go that route. So I'll save the Shadow Pulse goo for that. So I'll put it away. And let's see. So what I think I want to do is set up bees for the rest of them. So like the Ferrocore, the Blaze Gold, and the Celestia Gem. So we could get those resources coming in, because that will allow us to get more into the advanced blocks, the armor and gear, or the armor and tools, and then of course all the upgrades. Alright, let me come over to the, let's see, let me double check real quick. Yeah, let me go back to the Ender Crafter and pull out our Uranite Geore. There we go. Now we have officially all the Geores that we'll need. And I think with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end off this episode here. And I want to say thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I know this was kind of a quick episode. We only were able to, update our Shadow Goo Pulse. We got the Foundry going, and we got all of our Geores situated, so that will allow us to move forward into building our Geore Farm in the next episode, and hopefully look deeper into Just Direthings to get that fully automated. So until the next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.